Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So here we are with October's book haul. Matthew and I haven't been thrifting as much as we usually do, but we went out a few times over the past month or so, and I did get treasures for a lot of the collections that I have in my library. So we have some ghosty books, mostly kind of the YA and middle grade genres. I don't have much in the way of adult this time around, but super excited about some of these because some of them are ones that I've been looking for, and some of them were just really surprising additions to things like my ghosty shelf. So continuing on from the last video, we still have our Ghost Green Apple energy drink, and it is Monday here. It's holiday Monday. Happy Thanksgiving from Canada. I have my heater going. It is snowing and super cold outside. Matthew is putting the snow tires on the car, and we're going to talk about some books. So I did mention in my last video that we got the library all painted. There's one very small section up in the stairwell that I'm actually doing in a different color. That still needs to be done, but my dad and I spent 2 full days painting and bolting my shelves to the wall, so there will be a library tour coming. There's a couple more things that I would like to get done before I share everything, and also you can see that my books still need to be kind of reshelved, reorganized. It was a lot. It took kind of all Friday night for Matt and I to move all my books, move the shelves. Saturday, Sunday we painted and bolted the shelves up, and then Sunday night we moved everything back. So it's taking a while to get these reorganized. I'm doing it slowly because, you know, it's been a lot of work already, but really super happy that the shelves are now bolted in, and I don't have to worry about anything wobbling. So let's get into the haul and grab yourself a drink and snuggle in, and let's talk about these books. Okay, so 2 kind of out of the middle grade girls series. We have one Babysitter's Club that I don't own. This one is not in great condition. The spine is a little bit torn, but this is number 40, Claudia and the Middle School Mystery. So this is from the main series. It's not from the BSC Mysteries, you know, with the blue covers. This is number 40, so there's not too many left now that I don't own, but I was really super excited to find that one, and it's not in terrible condition. It's still kind of beat up, but you know, when you see them kind of even in fair condition, sometimes you have to grab them. And then we have one out of the Best Friends series by Hilda Stahl, The Secret Tunnel Mystery. This is number 16 in that series. And this is one series that's super hard for me to find in the wild. So just the image of these 2 girls on the staircase with a flashlight, like, it looks so spooky. And you know, when you're kind of at home having a sleepover or have a friend over or whatever, and you kind of end up getting yourselves creeped out, this was very nostalgic for me, this cover, because I did grow up in a haunted house. So it says, "What's waiting for Hannah and Roxy at the bottom of the stairs?" So super excited for that one. And then surprisingly, over the past few weeks, I found quite a few in the Girls of Canby Hall series. And that's another series that I do find really hard to find in the wild. Now, just do some reorganization here. There are several different versions of covers for this series, and there's one specific cover edition, I guess I would say, and I'll show you which one that I do collect. But when I find them at all for ones that I need, I will go ahead and grab them. So this one, this is the Girls of Canby Hall number 1, Roommates. So this is the very first one in the series, and it is one that I'm missing. So this is not the cover edition that I have for my collection, or that I want to get all of them for my collection. This is an alternate cover, but because it's number 1 in the series, I wanted to go ahead and grab this one because it's I don't own number 1, so I'll just wait and see if I can find the cover editions that I do want to collect, and this one is just a placeholder for now. Usually when I get these little soft covers, they're like $1.79 or $1.99, so you know, for the sake of a couple of bucks, I will definitely put that in the collection until I can find the cover edition that I want. This is another iteration of cover, so you can tell like the banners on the top where it says Girls of Canby Hall are different. So this is another iteration of cover, not the one that I want to collect permanently. So this is number 5. Friends Can't Always Help. This is Summer Blues, and but they are still vintage. It's just a different edition of the cover. So number 5, and then we are getting into the ones that I am actually collecting. So it's this edition of the cover that I want to collect for my series. So this is number 17, Graduation Day. Friendship Doesn't Always End with Graduation. Then we have number 27. I'm not sure how many books are in this series. I have to look that up. Number 27, The Roommate and the Cowboy. So one of the girls falls in love here. And then the last one, number 29, A Roommate Returns. Shelley Has Come Back. And this is one for my permanent collection as well. So, and these ones, like, you know, the spine is still pretty stiff. It is in great condition, like there's not a whole lot of damage on the spine. So I was really happy to find all of those. Like I said, the Canby Hall series is not one that I see frequently, and especially for ones that I actually don't own yet, it is really, really super rare. So I was excited that I found 5, even though I think 2 of them are, yeah, 2 of them are alternate covers. Does anybody else drink the Ghost Energy? The sour apple is very, very sour. I'll definitely wake you up in the morning. It's like 7:30 here. We do have one out of the Cedar River Daydreams series. This is number 17, Lonely Girl by Judy Bear. So I think I have one other one out of the Cedar River Daydreams series. I just started collecting it just a few months ago. I hadn't even heard of this series before. And this one is from 1992, so still really, really fairly good condition for 1992. And it does have a little, you know, I usually check the inside covers for the writing. I'm always really glad when it's in pencil so I can erase it fairly quickly. So this one's actually really funny. We have another Lurleen McDaniel for the romance shelf. This is One Last Wish. The mini series is called One Last Wish, and this book is called Let Him Live. So it's about this girl that's a candy striper and a patient as well, and I guess there's a love story behind it. If you've heard me talk about Lurleen McDaniel before, she writes very over-the-top dramatic love stories, and it usually involves someone is dying from cancer or some other deadly disease. And usually involves like hospital relationships and stuff like that. The funny thing is that I was watching Zach from Shadyside Library just a couple of days ago. He had done a book haul and hauled this very book, and I was sitting at my desk de-stickering books, and this one was in my pile. So I mean, talk about coincidence. So we will definitely put this one up on the Lurleen McDaniel bookshelf. And I keep saying it, but I really do need to make it a priority because my my romance collection is getting so out of control large at this point that I do want to do some vlogs that are like horror lover reads romance. I know Jen from Literary Love 123 did something very similar. So I definitely want to do that. And I did enjoy Lurleen McDaniel's books when I was a kid. So I think it'll be super nostalgic. So we have a Francine Pascal. So this is not out of a series. This is the standalone, but it says by the creator of Sweet Valley High and the Victoria books. I don't have any of the Victoria books. Hanging Out with Cece, or My Mother Was Never a Kid. So very, very long title. But I do have another 1 or 2 with standalone Francine Pascal with this sort of edition of cover on it. So very excited to put this with the other one. But I just love the covers with all of the vintage outfits and everything on them, of course. 1 and 2. Okay, so we do have 2 out of the Caitlin series. So these are also by Francine Pascal, and it's a mini series based on this girl Caitlin. So we have, it's called the Promise Trilogy. So we have number 1, Tender Promises, and number 2, Promises Broken. So very much that same sort of, you know, middle school into YA romance, kind of young adult stories. So definitely want to throw these up on the shelf. I think I have 1 or 2 other ones in the Caitlin series, and I've got to check. Like, I don't know if this Caitlin chick it's just the Promise trilogy is based on her, or if there's multiple ones. I have to look at that. Oh, we do have another Lurleen McDaniel. So, funny enough, this is the same mini-series, One Last Wish. So we had Let Him Live, and this is One Last Wish. She died too young. So again, she writes very over-the-top dramatic stories about friendship and love and everybody, and somebody's sick and somebody is always dying. So really cool to have two out of the same sort of mini-series that Lurleen McDaniel wrote. I don't know how many books she's written. I've got to look that up because I have, what, a dozen at least books by her now, and they just keep going. So this one is very cheesy. Sears catalog models. Don't Say Goodbye. So this is the Love Stories series, number 24, by Diane Schwem. Just look at these two. That's fantastic. They definitely do look like they're out of the Sears Wish book a little bit to me. So like I said, I haven't seen or collected any of these love stories books before. It says, I thought it was over between me and Jared, but then something happened that changed everything. Was it they got a puppy? I don't know. We'll have to read it and see, but I bought it purely for the cover. Same thing with this one. It says To Have and to Hold by Jennifer Baker. First Comes Love, and it does say romance with a heart on the spine there. Super cute. And it does have a step back cover, so we have a portrait here, and then you open it up. Oh my goodness, being carried across the threshold. So I'm assuming this is part of a mini series as well. I haven't read anything by this Jennifer Baker before, and I typically don't buy adult romance. Typically it's like middle grade YA, but I will definitely put this up. I really just bought it for the cover for the sake of less than $2, but I'm sure it's going to bring all the cheese as well. Okay, getting into some of the other kind of YA books that I found. So we have one standalone by John Peel, and I believe I have a couple of other books by him in my collection. This is Poison, Something Evil This Way Comes, Death by Venom. So it looks pretty cool. I don't think it's part of like a mini series or anything, but it is a first print from 1994, Archway paperbacks. Very, very cool. So this book, I actually already own this one, but it's an alternate cover, and so I like this cover much better. I am still going to keep the other one. So this is from the Losing Christina series by Caroline B. Cooney. This is Fire, originally titled The Fire, which is the one that I have. It is titled The Fire, so I am going to keep that other one. But this one, this particular cover, is very shiny. And this cover goes with, I think it's book 2. Is it called Snow or Winter or something like that? In the Losing Christina series. And this one matches that particular edition, but like I said, I am still going to keep The Fire. When I bought the other one, I didn't realize it was part of a series. I don't think it had the Losing Christina on it. I think it was just called The Fire, and that's it. So I didn't really know it was part of a mini series or a trilogy. So really super excited to find that one, and it is in great condition. You know, there's no spine creases. It's still very, very tight, and no writing or bent pages or anything like that. So super excited for that. So I did find a couple of Fear Street. Usually when I find Fear Street out in the wild, it's ones that I already own. I do own a lot of Fear Street. I still have a ways to go, but it's really, really hard to find the ones that I need out in the wild. But every now and again, I do find ones that I need, but more so, I find ones that are in better condition that I need. So I did get the Fear Street Saga, The Secret #2, Where the Terror Began. So I do own this book. It's already part of my collection, but this one was in much better condition, and it was an earlier edition as well. So I went ahead and picked that one up. I also found 2 in the Cheerleaders, Fear Street Cheerleaders series. So The Second Evil, again, I already own, but this is an earlier edition and in slightly better condition than the one that I have. And Cheerleaders, the Third Evil was the one that I was missing out of my collection. I didn't own this one. So I was really super excited to find this one. And like I said, both of these are in fantastic condition, you know, considering their age. So some replacements for my Fear Street collection and one new one. I'll skip over that one for a second. Along the same lines, I did find this one. This is Angel, City of. So I do already own this book, but this one is almost perfect. It's almost in perfect condition. There's no pages bent or anything. Like, this was sitting on a shelf for a really long time. You can tell. The spine is perfect and there's no writing or anything. So I am going to replace the one that I have with this one. And then we do have a spooky story, so 5 Days of the Ghost by William Bell. And just up on the top where it has the publisher, it says Junior Gemini, which I've never heard of before, but I love this cover. You know, it has the spooky house, branchy trees, full moon, you know, at dusk kind of thing. And it, the very first line on the back in the synopsis says, poking around a sacred Indian burial ground in the middle of the night with her brother. So that's all I needed to know. I didn't need to read any more. I'm reading less and less of synopses on the back of books. Usually I don't read them all. I'll just like read the first paragraph or whatever. So this sounded fantastic and I'm super excited to put it up with the rest of my ghosty books. And then these two, I do have quite a few Nora McClintock books, and these I found at the same thrift store but in different sections. So obviously they are part of a mini series. So this is Over the Edge and Scared to Death, and you can tell like this is, you know, uber 90s. Look at these kids. And I don't want to get into too much on here because I'm not really sure which one comes first. But they're kind of like spooky mysteries. So I'm definitely going to be putting these on my mystery shelf until I can read them. And I need to see if there's any more books in this particular series as well. We do have one Bantam book by Joan Lowry Nixon, and it's called Caught in the Act. And it does have this amazing vintage cover on it. I have no idea. It says, is Mike's new family hiding an awful secret? So I love these Bantam books that have the very like 70s into early 80s covers. Let's just see when this one is from. 1988, so this is actually later in the 80s, but still does have that wonderful vintage cover feel. So again, I do have quite a few by Joan Lowry Nixon, so another one to put up on the shelf. And then this one, I actually didn't even realize this was part of this series because it's a different shape and size than the ones that I already own. But this is out of the Alfred Hitchcock and the Three Investigators. So this is The Mystery of the Magic Circle. And look at this. Right now I'm actually reading Witches, and I think this could fit in with the witches theme that I'm doing for Halloween this year. But you know, there's this ritual going on under a huge spooky tree with a circle of candles and the whole thing. So this looks really good. I love the cover in this one. I think out of all of my Three Investigators books, this one has to be my favorite cover. It's just really unfortunate that this one is a different shape and size than the other ones that I have in my collection. Okay, I found a whole slew of movie and show novelizations to put into that collection. That shelf has been growing so much, it's almost time to move it onto another shelf. So I did find two in the Road to Avonlea novelizations. I am rewatching Road to Avonlea right now for a little bit of wholesome, cheesy Canadian just period piece. It's really what I'm needing in my life right now. So we have number 8. And I love the embossed sort of shiny font that these have on them. These are really rare to find in the wild as well. So we have number 8, Malcolm and the Baby. And this one is one of my favorite episodes, actually. This is number 10, The Hope Chest of Arabella King. And these always do have some show and movie stills on the inside of the book. They're not in color, which is really unfortunate. But I guess, you know, since it's a period piece, it kind of does match the whole vibe that they're going for. So I will definitely put those in with my Road to Avonlea, the rest of the ones that I have. And we also have it's kind of a choose your own adventure, but it's called Find Your Own Fate. Number 9, Indiana Jones and the Gold of Genghis Khan by Ellen Weiss. So I have a couple of these Indiana Jones books. And Indiana Jones wasn't one of my favorite things when I was growing up, but it was definitely something that I watched, so this is very nostalgic. We have our very first Clueless novelization. So I don't have, and this is based on the show, not on the movie. This is Cher's Furiously Fit Workout by Randy Ricefield. And this doesn't have a number. So I will definitely keep an eye out for more of these. I don't have anything in the Clueless, either based on the show or the movie. So I was super, super excited to find this one. This was super interesting. This is new to me. And these are novelizations of a show called Trash, which came out in the 90s. And let me know if you've ever heard of this show before, because this was like, these were published in kind of 96 to 98. And I had never heard of this show before. And that would have been like prime of when I was kind of growing up. So it's really funny that I know nothing about this show. And it says, tune in to the wild new series by best-selling author of Sunset Island. This must be the first in the series because it doesn't have an actual subtitle. It just says Trash. And look at these kids. Again, like uber 90s with the low-riding pants and the whole thing. And it's purple, which makes me super happy. The library is purple too, of course. So we have this one, Love, Lies, and Video. And then we have this one, Truth or Scare. So let me know if you've heard of this show before. It's completely new to me. And on the back of a couple of these, it says, look inside to find out how to win a TV and VCR, which is fantastic. I love that it says that on the back. 3 cool girls, 3 cool guys who live across the hall. One hot, forgettable summer. Sounds good to me. So I'm going to look more into this. I mean, it sounds like it's based on a show because it says tune into the wild new series. But maybe it's just books now that I'm thinking of it. You guys let me know. I'm assuming it's based on a show based on the models that are on the front covers here. So have you ever heard of this? I'm super excited to have these, whether it's based on a show or it's just a novel series, because it's going to bring all the 90s cheese that I'm looking for. And then, of course, keeping with the theme of what we've been finding when we're going out hunting, I have a whole slew of Sabrina books. So we have number 2, Showdown at the Mall. And if you don't know, about this time last year, I said Sabrina books are really, really hard for me to find in the wild. And now every time I go out, I'm finding slews of Sabrina books, to the point where I have to check my app to see which ones that I have and which ones that I don't have. So we have this one, All You Need Is a Love Spell. This is number 7. We have, now that I'm looking at the cover of this one, I'm wondering, do I have it? Up, Up and Away, number 28. I don't think I do, but we'll have to double check. We have this one, number 31, Mummy Dearest, and this has like a sort of a sensory sort of cover on it. That's the only way I can describe it. So we have this one here. And then we have Hounded by Baskervilles, one of the later ones. And then, last but not least in the Sabrina series, we have one out of the Salem's Trials. So these are based on Salem the Cat. So this is number 6, Psychic Kitty. And it bothers me to no end that they're not the same size as the other ones, but these ones are a lot smaller, so I can kind of see why they did that. But definitely will be putting all of these into my Sabrina collection. And we're almost done, so I did find a couple for my ghosty shelf. So this one I only bought because I own number 1 in the collection. This is Unsolved. Unsolved 2 by George Sullivan, More Famous Real Life Mysteries. So I've had book number 1 in my collection for years and years, so it was super cool to find number 2. We have another Alan Zulo, which I thought I had all of the Alan Zulo books kind of within this series, but this is one that I don't own, The Haunted Graveyard and Other True Ghost Stories. So look at all these very, very cool headstones. I love anything with headstones on the cover. I mean, for obvious reasons, but specifically anything with headstones on the cover. I do have this one. I thought this was something else, but it's not. So this is Ghost Hotel by Arthur Slade. And it says Arthur Slade's Canadian Chills #2. So this is very, very cool because this is the first time I've heard of this. Apparently Arthur Slade is a Governor General Award-winning author. Let's see, and Mr. Christie's Book Award, the Saskatchewan Book Award, and the Diamond Willow Award. So very, very decorated author who writes spooky books. So I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye out for more of these. It says A Mournful Ghost, A Grand Hotel, A Dangerous Time. So this is the first that I've collected in the Canadian Chill series, but I will definitely keep an eye out for more to put up on my ghosty shelf because I love Canadian ghost stories. And then very, very last but not least, super exciting book for the ghosty shelf in the nonfiction section, The Complete Book of Ghosts, a fascinating exploration of the spirit world from apparitions to haunted places by Paul Roland. So this is in fantastic condition, and it has, let's see, belief in the soul, the night side of nature, living apparitions, talking to the dead, the uninvited possession, haunted houses, highways to hell, spooky sights, and ghost hunters. So very, very cool one to put up on my ghosty shelf. And I am right now today reorganizing all my ghosty shelf books in the library. Like I said, I'm going to take my time and get all of this kind of put back together, but I did want to get the shelves that are kind of directly behind where I film done first. So really super excited to get these ones up on the ghosty shelf. So there you guys go. That is everything I have to show you today. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a question or comment down below because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky, everybody. Bye.